Welcome back everyone, John Panio here with another video. Today we're going to be going over all the updates that Limbus Company has just dropped. Within the day we got 3 to 4 updates, which is amazing, and I want to briefly go over all of them. First and foremost, we have the Refraction Railway Line 1 teaser. Abnormality observed. As you can see in the background here, there are 3 new bosses from what it looks like with the silhouettes. From here you can kind of see that there's a thick toad. That's probably going to be an abnormality boss, and then we have these other 2 figures which I can't really make out of. So we're looking forward to it. For those of you guys who don't know, Refraction Railway Line 1 is going to be essentially your endgame content, where you could say it's your tower grinding monthly, where you beat a floor, you go higher, claim the reward, beat a floor, go higher, claim your rewards. Works very similar to Abyss Dungeon in Genshin Impact if you ever played that game. And what it seems like is that each month that you decide to play this game mode, it's going to stay the same, and you will have to be able to get to the very end to get the most rewards, but mostly what the rewards are. However, they are planning to every month swap out the floors and the bosses and the abnormalities in the Refraction Railway Line, so that way to keep things fresh. So that means every month we're going to be getting a new endgame content, which is very nice. So we're looking forward to this. It's a place that you're going to be able to team comp, test new builds, really stack your strongest teammates and members and sinners with their egos into these types of dungeons and just test things out. So we're looking forward to trying this out. This comes out mid-April, most likely late April, but we'll see. We also have a new mechanic. The new mechanic is called Overclock. So, to summarize, Overclock is essentially being able to use your ego in its ego corroded form. Because right now the only way to use your ego corroded egos is if you're getting messed up. The only way to actually use your ego corroded skills is if your sanity is really low and you're getting absolutely annihilated. That's really the only time you get to use ego corrosion. The only issue is with ego corrosion, it's a fun skill, but it's essentially a coin toss because you have the potential to hit your teammates. However, what Overclock does is if you have enough resource to do your regular ego, that's fine. But if you have extra resources, then you can use Overclock. What that means is instead of your ego costing, 4 affinities, it will now cost 6 affinity in total, since in order to use your ego overclock, which means corroded ego, without any negative downsides, you have to have an extra 50% resources on top of what you have. However, the game will allow you to use the overclock even if you don't have enough resources. So say for example you have enough resources to do a regular ego. If you decide to go into overclock, it becomes an unstable ego overclock, which means that no longer is your ego corrosion going to be a safe ego corrosion where it will only hit the enemy. By using overclock in its unstable form, you go into the negatives for your affinity. So say for example you had 4 affinity and you decide you want to go into ego corroded phase with the ego, that means you're going to need 6 affinities. So what ends up happening is you have 2 affinities that go into the negative, and as a result you can still use the ego corrosion skill, but the issue is now it becomes indiscriminate, so it might hit your teammates. So very cool mechanic that they're adding. I really like this. It gives you a lot of, I wouldn't say flexibility, but it makes the game interesting in the sense that if you want to do speed runs, you could try to go for the unga bunga strats and pray to RNGs and hope you kill things faster with this. I can see this as a very last ditch effort, very similar to ego corrosion, but it's one of those things where I can see you get messed up, you use your ego corrosion, but if you have enough egos or affinities stored up, you can decide to go into ego corrosion again if you have the affinities available. And if you don't, you can go into negative and go into ego corrosion state again and do double ego corrosion state. But it's interesting because when I look at it, I don't think you'll be able to spam it multiple times like when you're in ego corroded state, when you're getting messed up. Because when you're in ego corroded state, all your skills become ego corrosion skills, which is great. But from what it looks like with this one, you're only going to be able to use it once, and then that's it. So use this with discretion. Very fun little mechanic that they're adding to it. Love it. More skill expression. Always love to see this. Can't wait to see people doing dumb stuff like corroding your Otis with ebony stem and just going like, oh, I'm just gonna hit everything and calling it a day. I can see a lot of funny memes with that. But ego corrosion with their overclock, very lovely mechanic that they're adding. Love it. They've also released the update for the new hire attendance. So with March 23 mini event, new hire attendance rewards, what this is essentially going to be divided up into two parts for rewards. How it works is the more stamina you consume, the more rewards you'll get. And how it works is you will get it based off of milestones. So once you reach a certain milestone with your stamina spent, then you unlock your rewards. And it's just divided into part 1 and part 2. So you can only claim the first part of the rewards prior to April 1st, and only after April 1st will there be the second tier unlocked. It does say that if you've spent more stamina to the point where it passes the rewards in your first part, the stamina still trails onto the second one. So once April 1st gets unlocked, you can just collect the rewards of the milestones that you already have, which is very, very nice. The rewards at the end of the milestones for the first part is a decorative banner, as well as a Deca extraction ticket, so a temple. And then for the second part, you get another decorative banner, but you also get a 3-star guaranteed Deca extraction. So a guaranteed 3-star pull, 10 pull banner, which is very, very nice. So a nice little event to kick off the game. Hopefully this will bring in some new players. I think if you're planning on picking up Limbus, then would be a great time to play, but we shall see. I'm expecting that all the milestones that they're going to be giving out, the usual Enkaphilan modules, Lunacy, Ego Shard crates, threads, the whole shebang. Yeah, so we're looking forward to it. Nice, simple event. Hopefully it'll bring in more people. Would love to see Limbus Company getting a bit more love, so very excited for that. And then we have some bigger changes down in the bottom. Well, the big one that I do want to go over is this one. They are changing the Excavation, which is very, honestly, exciting. It's going to be rolled out on March 23rd, but what they're doing is they're changing it so that no longer will your excavations take Enkaphilan. It will take Enkaphilan module, and it will be just 2 Enkaphilan module throughout all stages, which is very nice. I really enjoy how the game is changing it so that no longer do you have to use Enkaphilan, you just use Enkaphilan module, because the issue is that people want to be able to stockpile their Enkaphilan, because I stockpiled a ton, but I don't have a use for it right now. But with this change, I will be able to use Enkaphilan instead of having to wait for Enkaphilan to restock. But not only that though, because they're making it 2 Enkaphilan modules for every single stage, that just means that for stage 1 and 2, they're just going to be upping the rewards to compensate for it, since there is going to be a difference in stamina. So they're going to be beefing up the rewards for stage 1, stage 2, because they're missing 10 to 5 stamina, which would be really bad, because they would be losing out resources. So the resources are getting bumped up in those stages, but stage 3 staying the same. Another really big thing here to cover is they're getting rid of the daily bonuses, which I really like. In lieu of getting rid of the daily bonuses, it means that now, instead of getting 50% less, you're essentially getting 75. So how it worked before was, say for example, you were getting hypothetically, let's just go with this. Hypothetically, let's just say you were getting, actually it says here, you were getting 5 gold tickets and 5 silver tickets, EXP. You get the daily bonuses for your EXP excavation, and after you clear through your bonuses, you're going to only get 3 after that. So what's now going to change is they're going to go into the middle ground where there's no daily bonuses, but that just means now the base clear is going to be 4. So they're going into the middle ground where instead of getting double bonuses per day, and instead of getting half the rewards after your double bonuses. They're just making it so that it's clear across the board, right in between, so 75%. Overall, I really do enjoy this change, since that way it makes it so that if people don't want to play the game right away, all they have to do is log in, condense their Enkafill, and when they decide they want to grind, they can hop into the game and grind whenever and not feel like they're being punished for not playing, because there's nothing worse than feeling like you have to go into the game at certain points of the day to be efficient with your stamina. Whereas in this case, because they get rid of the bonuses, but they up the rewards overall, it just means you can grind whenever you want, and if you don't want to grind, you don't have to, and you're not missing out on Enkavillain, because now you can condense it into modules and use those modules into the dungeons later, which is fantastic. Really loving the changes, really looking forward to it. A lot of juicy changes. They're also adding, which is huge, a skip battle function will be added to Excavation planned on April 6th. After clearing a stage in Experience Excavation, the ability to skip the battle for it will be unlocked. Using skip battle will automatically clear the selected Excavation stage once. The only issue is that skip battle costs twice as much Enkafill as regular stage entry, but it yields 50% additional rewards. The entry cost and rewards will reflect the changes above. This is interesting. I don't know if what it means is if you're going to be using double the cost to be getting only 1.5 times rewards, or does it mean you're going to be getting 2 times rewards plus a 50% on top of your 2 times reward. This is interesting, but I'm pretty sure how I'm interpreting is skip battle is going to cost double the Enkafill rewards, and you don't get 2 times the rewards for using it. It sounds like you only get your full try first, but you also only get 50%. So it looks like they somewhat punish you for using skip battle, because if you skip battle, you lose 50% efficiency on one of your runs. So instead of having 200%, you're at 150 versus doing 2 separate ones of 100 and 100. You're going to be getting one run completely skip using 2 times the resource, but only getting 150% of the resource. So interesting. If you're lazy, great, you can use this. You lose 50% resource. A bit of an annoying, but it's nice. You are given the option to do that if you choose. So punishes people for being lazy, but rewards people for kind of playing the game. So overall, I'm going to be playing the game normally. I'm most likely not going to be skipping, but if I'm in a time crunch, really don't care about the stage, I'm just going to skip and call it a day without having to play the game, which is very, very nice. Overall, lots of changes. Really looking forward to everything that Project Moon is doing. I am honestly very excited for all of the changes that's happening. As usual, let me know down in the comments section down below what you think about these changes. Overall, I'm really looking forward to all the changes that's happening. They're really, I don't know where they're listening to the feedback from, either Reddit or Twitter, but they are really changing things ASAP to make the quality of life for the players better. I've never seen a company like that. So Project Moon, keep up the great work. I'm really loving how you guys are making the game enjoyable. You're adding quality of life changes to the game. You're not punishing players for not playing. You are punishing players for being lazy, but you're not completely hamstringing them. So it's a nice little balance. So we're looking forward to it. Anyways, that's the news for today. Yeah, John Panio signing out. See you guys later. Bye for now.